Marry My Husband Episode 1. The drama starts with our main character Kang Ji-won. She is a patient in the hospital and her friend Young Soo-min visits her, encouraging her to overcome her illness. Ji-won sadly tells Soo-min that her husband is cheating on her. While Ji-won takes her chemotherapy thinking about her doctor words that she only has 6 months and 12 months is a miracle, she jumps back a few years ago in her wedding. She is a bride and her husband is Park Min-hwan. While she is happy, her mother-in-law insults her that she didn't receive proper household discipline. After her marriage, her mother-in-law quarrels with Ji-won because she didn't have kids. Also, her husband Min-hwan quits his job because he goes into stocks, so Ji-won becomes the breadwinner of the family and pays his loans. Things become worse. What happened at home makes her more stressful, making mistakes at her work, and receives a reprimand from her manager. She returns home finding her husband didn't repair the door lock, playing video games, and the house in mess. Ji-won goes to the hospital because she has an excruciating pain in her stomach. The doctor tells her she has a gastric cancer in stage 4 and she only has 6 months to live, and 12 months is a miracle. Min-hwan and his mother learn about her cancer. Her mother-in-law is sad not on Ji-won but on her son that he married her, and her son Min-hwan worries about who will make his meals. What a crazy house. Jump to the present. Ji-won ends her therapy. She learns that her husband has to pay the hospital bills to continue her treatment in the hospital. She calls her husband but he didn't answer. While that, her friend Soo-min drives her car and meets her lover Min-hwan. Yes, her best friend's husband. Soo-min has an affair with Min-hwan. Back to the hospital, Ji-won exits the hospital to go to her house because her husband didn't answer the phone. She rides a taxi with an old man. The driver tells her things will be better. She opens up that she is dying, having no family, and even her husband didn't pay her hospital bills. He smiles and takes her in a different path through the tunnel. That path is full of cherry trees in a beautiful scene. She reaches her place, and the driver gives her the money back, telling her that it's an allowance from her father. Ji-won barely goes up the stairs and finds the door lock is still broken and her house in mess. She enters the house, hearing her husband and her best friend in the bed. They discuss about what they will do with her insurance. Ji-won enters their room screaming and throwing things on them. After a short time, she becomes barely breathing, but she is still quarreling with her friend that how she can do this. Min-hwan picks her and throws her away on a glass table. She ends up dying. Even at this time, they have no regret on what they were doing. The scene stops on date April 12, 2023. Remember this date because we will travel in the time machine. Ji-won wakes up in her work in front of her Min-hwan. She quarrels with him, follows, and throws him with random things. At this moment, a new character shows up. Ji-hyuk interferes and keeps her away of him. Ji-hyuk is her manager. When she is about to faint, he catches up her. He asks her what happened, but she runs off and sees herself in mirror to ensure that she is still alive, but in the past. When she moves back, she drops hot water, but for third time Ji-hyuk interferes and saves her again. She rushes away from the office outside, and he runs after her, saving her from falling on the stairs. The places have really changed, and date 2013 is on banners. Ji-hyuk accompanies her to her house and gives her some money because she leaves her wallet in the office. It's not the end. He brings some food and hot drinks to her house. It seems that he has feelings for her. She is still confused about what happens and questions if 2023 is just a dream, but she knows Ji-hyuk. She saw him in 2021 that he became a chairman for UNK company. She brings the money out of her jacket. She sees the money paper which the driver gave her, saying it is an allowance from her father. That money paper has a heart shape. This reminds her with her father. He is used to drawing a heart shape on the money giving to her. She realizes that her father's soul is sent to her, helping her in her distress. Min-hwan comes to her house and invites her on a meal. He thinks she is pregnant. He tells her he doesn't want the baby and asks her to get rid of him and he will pay the half of the cost. His words reminds her with his mother. She was quarreling with her about having no children. She tells him she has gastritis and asks him to break up. While she leaves, he runs into her and attacks her. Finally, they end up at the police station. The police officer talks to her that she is sensitive and it's just a lover's quarrel. She asks him to take her to the house. At home, she checks her cash balance, finding Min-hwan took a lot of her money. She remembers we're a gentle company. He quitted his job to invest in this company through stocks, and he achieved success. She enters the stocks market buying stocks in the company. She goes to the library buying books about quitting the job. She meets Ji Hyuk there and notices the previous hot water accident left him a scare on his arm. It's the same scare she had when she was in the hospital. He invites her for a meal. While they eat, she sees he is handsome and considerate, how she didn't notice that before. At work, she tries to avoid Minhwan several times. She proposes her project to the manager Kyung-wook, but he refuses it however. She remembers that he accepts the same project from Soo-min and then the manager bullies her about how she dressed comparing her with Soo-min. At the coffee corner, she tries to talk to Ju-ran. She is a good employee and Kyung-wook's first hand. He prevents her from the promotion, ending up leaving the company after that. Ju-ran leaves and leaves the cup of coffee behind, is about to fall. She remembers that the same thing happened in the past. In the past this accident left a scare in her knee. She thinks that it is the end, but the accidents continues to happen until she gets injured in her knee in the same spot. She keeps confused until she returns her office getting message from Minhwan that he sold his stocks in Morigental Company and bought stocks in TKU Company and that company will go bankrupt in the future. She realizes what is bound to happen will happen, it is only needs to happen to somebody else.